There's a small park here, nice little breeze. And we're going to walk forward as we're going to go towards the house. There's already people gathering. So I'm here at the Edgar Allan Poe house in Baltimore, Maryland. This is only, so his grave site is a 15-minute walk from here, if you choose to do that. But I would probably take an Uber, or you have your own car. So this is the Edgar Allan Poe house, and our appointment's at 11 o'clock, and this is his home here. They are going to develop this area a little bit more and build a really nice museum to Poe, because you can see the fencing around the whole square. But at 11 o'clock we're going to go inside here.
To the Edgar Allan Poe House Museum in Baltimore. My name is Kelsey. This is Laura. Feel free to ask either of us any questions if you have them. So this is one of 3 remaining Poe residences. The other 2 are located in Philadelphia and the Bronx, New York. There is also a fantastic museum in Richmond. It's not one of the houses he lived in, but one of the oldest in the city and has the largest collection of items from his life. But you're here to hear about this one right now. So this house was built in 1831. It was originally a duplex, so it had a mirror image twin on the other side of this Sallyport here. That and the rest of the neighborhood was lost in the 1930s when they were preparing to build the first subsidized housing in the city, the Poe Home projects. And luckily for us and them, Edgar Allan Poe Society of Baltimore stepped in and had this site saved, and thus they're named after that now. You'll notice they're all boarded up now. They've not been abandoned, they're not blighted, they're not being gentrified. They were built in the 30s and they haven't really gotten enough updates since then, so they've relocated all the tenants. They have first right of return vouchers when reconstruction is done and everything is updated. And for the time being, this is how they are. The Poes have a pretty long history here in Baltimore. The family emigrated here from Cavan, Ireland. His grandfather, David Poe Sr., served in both the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812. His son, David Poe Jr., was on track to become a lawyer until he fell in love with the English actress Eliza Arnold and decided to join the theater instead. The 2 of them toured up and down the East Coast together. Eliza had rave reviews as a talented comedian, singer, and dancer. David's reviews, lukewarm at best. But they married, they had 3 children. Henry was the oldest, Edgar was the middle child, and Rosalie was the youngest. Around the time that Rosalie was born, though, David Poe Jr. exited stage left and is kind of lost to history. We don't exactly know what happened to him. But Eliza continued on with the theater troupe. They did their best to support her and the children. They had benefit performances for them until she passed away in Richmond at age 24 from tuberculosis, or consumption as they would have known it. After Eliza passes, the kids are split up. Henry is taken back to Baltimore to be raised by his grandparents. Rosalie is taken in by the Mackenzie family of Richmond, and Edgar is taken in by their friends, the Allans, John and Francis Allan. They have him rebaptized as Edgar Allan Poe, but he's never formally adopted by the Allans. And that becomes a big point of contention between him and John Allan as he grows up. He does go on to spend about a semester at the University of Virginia before dropping out due to lack of funds. John Allan sent him a fraction of what he needed, and gambled the rest of it away. He leaves university and joins the military for a little bit, and eventually becomes a cadet at West Point Military Academy up in New York. When he's kicked out of West Point, though, he comes back here to Baltimore where he knows he has blood relatives, and he moves in here with his grandmother Elizabeth, his aunt Mariah, and his cousins Henry and Virginia. They live in this house from 1833 to 1835. In that time, he completes a pretty impressive 17 works of writing, and his writing shifts a little bit. Instead of focusing exclusively on romantic poetry, he begins to write short stories as well. And even more importantly, he starts getting paid for his writing while he's here. He enters a contest in the Baltimore Saturday Visitor magazine and wins first place for his short story, Manuscript Found in a Bottle. The prize is $50, which in today's money comes out to about $1,800, so not too bad. And he becomes one of the first American authors to make his living solely in the literary field, either as an editor, reviewer, critic, or publishing his own work. Never particularly wealthy, usually grindingly poor, but he was well known within his time. He leaves this house in 1835 to pursue a job at the Southern Literary Messenger down in Richmond, and it's around that time that his grandmother Elizabeth passes away. And that's a problem for the family because it was her military pension that was paying the rent on this house. So So in an effort to keep his little family together, he does briefly return to Baltimore, marries Virginia. From then on, Edgar, Virginia, and Mariah live together for the rest of their lives. Years later, Edgar's story does end back here in Baltimore. While traveling between Richmond and New York, he never makes his connecting train to New York. Instead, he disappears here in Baltimore for about 4.5, almost 5 days. When he is found, he's disheveled, disoriented, physically unwell. He's taken to the hospital. He dies there October 7th, 1849, never able to explain what happened during that missing time. If you'd like to extend your Poe tourism here in Baltimore, he's buried about a 15-minute walk away. There's lots of cities that lay claim to Poe. He was born in Boston, raised in Richmond, wrote some of his most well-known work in Philly and New York. But here in Baltimore, we've got the house, we've got the body, and we named our football team after his most famous piece. So I think we make a fair amount of noise. So a couple quick house rules before we get you all inside. It is a very old house. It's almost 200 years old. We'd like it to stand for at least another 200, so we have to be gentle with it. The main thing to keep in mind is that the stairs inside are pre-modern building codes, so they're very narrow, they're very steep, and they turn. So our number one rule is just one person on the stairs at a time. When you reach the top, please call back, let the next person know it's okay for them to head up. Same rule going back down the stairs, but you have a much better line of sight. You can see the person before you exit the staircase. We do have cameras in every room, just for safety and security. Feel free to take pictures or videos yourself, just no flash. It's terrible for our historic objects. If you feel like posting them on social media, feel free to tag us, Poe Baltimore. We are trying to get as many eyes on the house as we can, and we're ramping up to our big festival in October. And lastly, it is a self-guided tour, so you have until about the 45-minute mark. We're going to encourage you to come back down to the gift shop and make final purchases. But like I said before, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. It makes our day more interesting.
All right. So, since the other one has arrived, you guys can come on in and we can sign it.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And I'll pop upstairs once everyone's through. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome. We just keep going.
Yep. You're going to come back through this way, so...
And first room, there's steps down. It's very dark in here. There's about 25 people present. I'm gonna go up and come down. So again, she said narrow and twisting. So I'm just gonna walk all the way up and then I'll slowly come down to show y'all. Nice and cool. Very narrow here. There is a handle that you can grab a hold of as you go up. Extremely narrow. And then the top attic room, you cannot go in the top attic room. It stops at the very top. So you can see this bedroom, plastered walls. And I'm going to turn and come back down.
Yep, it doesn't go all the way up. It's like a big board. Do you want to view something? I love it. Go ahead. Have a fun time. If you guys have any questions, let us know.
Thank you. There's the man himself.
You okay?
That's myself.
Hi, buddy. You okay?
So, at least in the second room up top, there is a guide here that you can ask any questions of. Alright, so we're going to go back down. Be careful of the steps in your head. Sorry. So here's Edgar's family tree.
So they were from different.
So it ties in with this area too.
We're gonna go down. There is handrails. It's very steep. My camera is facing directly straight down. And this is the house that we're actually in right now. Entering, going up into the gift shop area. She indicated that your guidebook has a QR code that gives a video walk. Can you just show me what the guidebook looks like?
It's these that I had outside.
So if you come here to the gift shop, on inside there's a QR code, either on the back or inside, that will give you a more detailed description of the house, and she indicated there's a video walking tour in there.
It's an audio tour.
It's an audio tour.
So it basically reads out what all the panels and all the rooms say.
Oh, that's perfect. So if you're visually impaired, that's absolutely perfect for people.
We also have, hey, do you like these?
We also offer for hearing impaired, we have a Braille tour.
Oh, so they also have a book in Braille as well. That's actually, thank you for that.
And we also offer, for anyone who can't physically make it to the house, we also offer virtual tours.
Okay, and where do you...
Days of video. So they would contact us directly and we can set that up. It's something we do through the computer. It's our director going through the house, but then we also have a guide doing a Zoom call to answer any questions and facilitate the tour.
So that's perfect. So they have audio tour options, and if you're visually impaired, they have a Braille guidebook, and if you're mobility issues, you can contact their office and they have a virtual tour that walks through the whole house for you. Very nice. Thank you.
It's small, but we try to do our best.
Yeah. And then they have a small gift shop area here. And this time of year, how many days of the week are you open?
April through October, we're open Wednesday through Sunday.
Okay.
In November through like March, we're open Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday. And then the big Poe festival is held in October?
Yes, so it's always the weekend closest to his death date, October 7th. So this year it'll be the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of October. The festival itself is completely free to attend. And then we have a couple ticketed events like the Black Cat Ball, the Raven Movie Night, and the bus tours.
There's a traveling Edgar Allan Poe performance group. They give 4 readings with cocktails and period attire.
Yeah.
That's really cool. They came to my city not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
So.
But yeah, the festival's great. We've got tons of vendors. You'll find literally anything you could ever dream of with Poe space.
Thank you.
All right, so Paige, you want to just use this cards right up here, come back. The death bus tour.
This whole area, the stationary station.
Did you just miss them? I just was first. Oh, what? Oh, okay.
So my impressions, the museum's really nice. It's cramped. They let about 25 people in today. So if you want to get good video, be the first one all the way up to the top and then just work yourself down. This is a privately funded society. This is not part of the National Park Service. But it's only about a 15-minute walk to his gravesite. So it's not that far by car or Uber. And she also mentioned that at that particular church where his grave is, they have catacombs. And the first Saturday of every month and at Halloween, you can tour the catacombs. You go inside the church, you hear stories, and then you have a scavenger hunt in the graveyard area. So it's very cool. She indicated that for an October event, that would be great. They do have the Poe festival here in October where they celebrate his life and they remember his death. He was a very influential poet who had struggles in his life, but when he penned the word to paper, his life was almost perfect. So this is your tour of the Edgar Allan Poe house in Baltimore, Maryland. Thanks for coming. Have any questions, you can contact them directly. They do have a website. She indicated when they're open. Again, they have a book in Braille, and then if you have mobility issues, they have a virtual tour, and then in the guidebook there is a QR code for an audio tour that tells you what exactly is being displayed. Thank you very much for your day. So I'm here at 515 West Fayette Street in Baltimore, Maryland. And some of you may know what this church is famous for. I'm sure it's famous in its own right, but it is also famous for an American poet. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, rapping at my chamber door. only this and nothing more. These are the few first lines of the poem The Raven. These are the immortal lines of Edgar Allan Poe, who was a poet, writer, who lived in Baltimore, and this was his final resting place. So you can come here at 515 West Fayette Street and see his marker. And this is the final resting place, but he has a second grave in this cemetery. And we're gonna go try to locate that as well. Interesting fact, the Baltimore Ravens football team are named for Edgar Allan Poe. So we're leaving the marker and we're coming in. And this particular stone that we're going to go visit actually has a depiction of the raven on it. But there's other famous people buried in this cemetery. And I'll just pause so you can see that as well. And we're gonna see if we can locate it. Nice cool August day. It's not very, very hot. That's a landmark for you. Uneven brick pathway. And I believe we're over here. I've never been here before, but here we go. And there's Edgar Allan Poe. He also attended West Point. And this is his first resting spot. Zoom in on that so you can read this. So again, from this marker, we're going to turn left, walk back towards the church. But you'll come across other markers within this church graveyard. And I'll just show you a couple as we come through. You'll go by the brick tomb here, past what looks to me like a broken bench there. So you can see that. That's a landmark to take you back to that gravestone. So if the gates are open, you're more than welcome to come back here. There's another marker over here that I didn't see. But if the gates are locked and it's normal business hours, you can go to the front door of the church and ask for assistance. So in September they hold a very large festival for Edgar Allan Poe. All right.